crazy, right? Because I woke up at like 3:33 and I dropped that one video. I fell asleep. Well, I went back to sleep at 4:44, right? And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. So I lay back down at 4:44. And went back. It was like a doorway or something. Like you'll go back into that. So I did that, and now I woke up and I started this video at 8:44. I'm like, yo, what's the synchronicities about? You know what I mean? That shit crazy, and they kind of hitting right now, like bam, bam, bam. But I feel it. I feel like my body feel like something. I ain't gonna talk about what I feel, but you already know the vibes. Yeah. Excuse me. Just to continue on what I was speaking on. See, the natural law of things, it's not like the scientists and everybody of the world don't know this. It's what the problem is they want to be able to control it. They can't get past that understanding of the natural law of things. If the world stopped moving, it's no religion gonna stand up. I don't give a damn. No 1,000 men in suits. There's not gonna be no place you can go to worship. Natural law gonna take over. It's two things that are validated when it comes to the understanding of true spirituality. It's the container that the life is in, and it's the process of natural law. Those two things are always going to be the head of everything. So no matter what people like, if you think about it, like you put ants in a container that's just got dirt, they're going to dig in it, they're going to make the structure, they're going to make the walls, and they're going to turn that place into an ant home. It's going to make all little things in there. So now the structure, that reality is based off what they built. Don't let what I just said go over your head. The structure of that reality is now based on what they built, not what divine built. They are a part of divine because they are creations of divine, but their stability is based off the value of what they create. So don't let this go over your head because it's the problem with the world right now, regardless of fact. But see, the difference is with ants is that they know, despite everything, divine has allowed them to build within that level of space of creation. So this is why even if you destroy their ant home, they're gonna go build it somewhere else. That's apartheid to the natural law of things. They don't have conversations in there like, you know what? That's not true out there. we this and we that. They don't do stuff like that. Like it's not even a reality. You know what I'm saying for them. Everybody separates the container of their capability from the bubble of which they came. That means the capabilities in your DNA that divine gave you is apartheid to what? The natural law of creation. So the container is itself. You can't restructure your kingdom inside you to fit a propaganda value that doesn't serve the divinity. It's just the natural law of things. And there's so many things that come with this understanding that frees you from like do you don't see like 100 million ants scared? They're not terrified of what? If anything, they'll be terrified when the destruction comes because they know that's one thing they can depend on. They can depend on the destruction and the rebuild. That's natural law things. Sometimes shit may get destroyed by another animal, right? See a small, and you've seen in Africa or in different places where a small animal are traveling to the wrong ant pile and them ants come out in a torrent and kill that big animal. So just because you big and you have a certain narrative don't mean you run the understanding of what that value is. Like ants are tiny, but they will kill a big animal that walks into it. They'll attack them and eat them alive. Eat that ass alive until that animal dies or something, or if that animal's strong enough to get away. But that doesn't make it the divine concept, right? Divine concept can bring forth eradication of all things. So what is those things? These can be possibly elements. They can be water, they can be fire, they can be air, they can be earth. Earth can fall on them, it can turn up, it can burn, kill everything inside the empire. Water can flood it out, drown everything out. You know what I'm saying? Air can storm it, kill it, blow it off. You know what I'm saying? To where they die. You know what I'm saying? Like these are natural laws of things that are connected to the natural law of things. These are natural laws that are connected to the natural law of things, and behind that is divine. So when people get in here and people like, well, this is what this is, and this is that, and this word, and these things, you just really sounding stupid because you don't concept the reality. And the people who have put individuals in this mentality is because they didn't know where the fuck they was at. That's why they created these values. They didn't know where they was at. They thought they could tell you anything and you would just go with it. Something to think about. They thought they could tell you anything and you would just go with it. And they did that because they had to figure out where they were at. They had to figure out how to survive. They had to figure out what they can take and, all these different values to harness. And this is a prey mentality. This is a plot and plan mentality. You got scavengers, you know what I'm saying? Like for the most part, you got to understand this particular capability that comes with individuals who move like that. They create a falsity, and that falsity that is created now has everybody in the mentality of believing way less than the value of natural law of how things create. So I can simplify that even smaller. You know what I'm saying? Because divine showed me that as long as you stay within divine energy, anywhere it can be your cocoon where you grow and change. Butterflies, spin a web around them and they make their life different. They go from a worm to a butterfly. I didn't even know ants spun silk too. Deep down inside their holes, they got like different levels of animals that can spin some silk that keeps certain levels that they need protected, like their babies or their food or whatever. It's like deep down in the holes. So, hey, just something to think about. I just woke up again. I just opened my eyes. I'm like, yo, man. Well, I guess in everybody's concept, this is a new year. So, y'all be careful out there. You know what I mean? Don't let so much conglomeration come into your life to where you just can't see the truth. Because a lot of people they've already walking the road that's most traveled by everybody. Lying, cheating, deception, and they want forgiveness. They want that. Divine don't work like that. Divine works on you recognizing. That's what this shit is about. Like the world has changed it into other things. Nah, divine works on you recognizing and standing on that. That is how you show. It's not about what you say, it's what you do. It's always going to be that. You could talk to you blue in the face, but if you ain't doing the right thing, your words mean nothing. People always want to say shit and don't want to do nothing. Well, I don't hear words anymore. I only hear actions. And that's probably why divine has been singling me out, because I get a chance to see how people really are. I get to feel how people really are through their falsity. So then that means I get to choose a different level of connection if I see fit, and the level of connection I choose is people who choose to act on truth and righteousness. People who choose to recognize that value. That is my connection to people. And if I don't have that from individuals, I'm not connected to you. But it's not going to be like, oh my God, I'm mad. Nah, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, I'm always be connected to divine. I will always be connected to divine. I will always be connected to the natural law of things. Everybody will, because we're creations in natural law. I'm just saying, yo, like that's just what it is. Like, whether people want to realize that or not. So, yeah, so it's like it kind of defeats the purpose to even talk about other shit, especially when it's separate from the value. Like most people, they just don't comprehend that as the contingency to divine. It's like, nah, we gonna debate about shit that was created from the divine and their power and what that meant to the world, and then hold it higher than me giving praise to Almighty. Like, not at all. Not at all. One thing people fail to realize is we're living in a world of dilution. Dilution meaning at some point, some of the creations here was at their height. They was like the smartest, the most powerfulest. They did a lot of great things. But as the world turns, shit got diluted down to nothing. And some of those same individuals are still existing now. They're just brought low. They're brought down so low they have no choice but to walk in the circumference of everything to an equal value. Well, that's what the world does. That's natural law. It balances out everything to be on the same level. Divine is fair. And you can make it fair, but if you don't make it fair, you don't get to be in that same connection. It's like saying a aardvark, it cares for the ants. But if the aardvark destroys all the ants, it doesn't have anything to eat later. So automatically, the aardvark will go to a giant ant mound and eat some of them, poke a hole in it, eat some of them, and then move on to the next one. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, why don't just sit there and eat them all? Because it understands the natural law of things. Look how seeds get carried. All seeds don't get carried the same way. They get carried in a numerate amount of different ways to get placed in different containers so they can start the natural law of things. No matter what life says, it's always going to go back to the natural law of things because that's right in front of divine. It's right in front of divine. Nobody wants to see that. Everybody wants to, well, I understand. You don't understand shit. Just you speaking against the divine or trying to control a value destroys that concept in itself. Just destroys it. You know, it's even more interesting. Given time and certain things just quiet, they cease to exist. Like given time, certain things that people believe in or what they hold on to, if you give it time, they cease to exist because unless you keep the lie going, the only thing that's going to happen is the natural law things are going to take over and that belief is now going to be gone. Nobody's going to hold on to that. But divine will always be within these natural laws, no matter how everybody looks at it. People are going to say life just happened. Divine